Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your Wednesday, April 22nd Math e-learning. Today, I am asking you to create an order of operations project by creating a clock with expressions that will equal different hours on the clock. So I wanted to show you how I actually came up with my expression for 12. Since I knew my answer had to equal 12 o'clock, I started thinking about, okay, what if I started with the biggest part of my expression? And this is where I was also trying to think of multiples of 12, but I was also trying to think of factors of 12 as well to help me work through my problem. So I knew I wanted to have an exponent in here to show you guys as an example. So I ended up coming up with 4 to the third power. And when we solve 4 to the third power, we do 4 times 4 times 4 because my exponent tells me how many times I need to multiply my base by itself. So 4 times 4 times 4. And so this is where 4 times 4 is 16. And then I'm going to bring down my 4. Again, I was practicing that vertical alignment. And then 16 times 4, is 64. So I then rewrote my expression with 64 in it, and then I went from there and said, okay, I know I want to have either a multiplication or division, and because 12 is smaller than 64, I want to be able to divide. So this is where I had it divided by 8, which when we do 64 divided by 8, we get 8. And then from there I built the addition and subtraction around it. So I did plus 6 on one side, so that way I would end up with a number that was larger than 12, and I got 14, and then I added my subtract 2 in order to end up with a total of 12. So when I went to write my actual expression, I took my 4 to the third power, and I did that first. Second, I took the product of 4 to the third power, which was 64, and I chose to divide by 8. So if I was building my expression, then I would show divided by 8. Next, I took the quotient of 64 divided by 8, and I added 6 to it. So that came before my 4 to the third power. And lastly, I took the sum of 6 and 8, which is 14, and I subtracted it by 2 to get my answer of 12. So I just created my expression by piecing it together and working through, and I wanted to start with my biggest number and then working around it, because remember, part of the reason why I wanted to end up with addition and subtraction, one, that's the last part of our order of operations, or PEMDAS. And when I was going through and practicing to create my expression, I wanted to start off with either a parentheses or exponent to begin, and then I built my expression around it. So I hope that this helps. If you have any questions today, don't hesitate to reach out. I am so excited to see what creative things that you come up with to represent some of the different hours on the clock. Have a great day of